what's up, Spooky fam? If you remember last month, we did Cult Horror Movie Week, and this is Body Horror Week. This is just a little introduction video to let you guys know what we're going to be getting into this week. I will give you the list of movies that we are reviewing in case you want to watch them. First, we are starting with Upgrade, moving on to The Beach House, and then Excision, the short film and the full-length feature. Next is Society, and finally we are ending the week with The Skin I Live In. So if you are excited for this, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, so that you are notified for when all of these movie reviews come out. And let's get into a little bit more about body horror. Firstly, I did want to squeeze a documentary in here, but the only documentary that I could really think of that really had to deal with body horror is called The Pain of Others, and I watched it a few months ago, but it wasn't really anything too special. But moving on, body horror is my personal favorite because it spans across like subgenres, multiple subgenres within the like overall umbrella term body horror itself. And everyone watching can collectively be grossed out at some point or another throughout the experience of watching the movie. Everyone is made out of the same elements: skin, eyeballs, teeth, fingernails, hair. So we all can, I guess, empathize more with the characters in that way when it feels more real. I guess what I'm getting at is when those elements feel violated, it does feel more rooted in reality. And it makes you feel yucky, and that's what I kind of go for when I watch a movie. I like to feel yucky. Body horror, or biological horror, I really don't like it being called that, specifically showcases grotesque or physically disturbing violations of the human body through sex, mutilations, zombification, violence, disease, any unnatural movements of the body, and so much more. Body horror falls into the three genres of excess or gross. 1, body horror. 2, I'm just gonna put the word here on the screen so that YouTube does not flag my video. And 3, melodrama. Body horror specifically focuses on the limits and transformative capabilities of the human body. I will go ahead and give you guys some honorable mentions: American Mary, The Eyes of My Mother, Black Swan, any David Cronenberg movies, Raw, Starry Eyes, any of the Hostel films. 2 that I actually enjoyed a lot: Contracted Phase 1 and 2, even Audition and Slither, just to name a few of my faves. Like I mentioned, body horror overlaps other subgenres within the umbrella term, such as slasher, splatter, monster movies, just to name a few, but all may differ with intent. Body horror, for those of you who are kind of uncomfortable with it, can really kind of invoke intense feelings of physical and psychological disgust. And they do tend to play upon our anxieties and our more psychological vulnerabilities, I guess. The earliest form of body horror in the literary genre was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, who you guys are probably very familiar with, and that came out in 1818. And speaking of body horror in the literary genre, body horror does span across everything: movies, TV shows, books, video games. Some of my favorite video games are body horror video games, and those are the ones that I gravitate towards. Some that you guys would be familiar with: BioShock. I love the BioShock series. I also love the Dead Space series. Dead Space is honestly like some of the scenes in like, if you guys remember, I believe it's Dead Space 2, the laser in the eyeball. Oof. See, it's things like that evoke physical, like, you know, laser eye surgery is so common, so to like see it get botched so bad in a video game that you have to control is just, it's a lot, you know? Let's talk about new French extremity for a minute. Movies, like I mentioned, Raw, Martyrs. I watched Martyrs last year for the first time, and it was a lot. But I also want to highlight Gaspar Noé because I think he is fantastic, and he does make me feel, it doesn't even have to be like body horror. Like, even in climax, some of the body movements, like I mentioned, unnatural body movements, some of the movements in climax just make you feel like, oh my goodness. So really quickly, we will be rating these movies a little bit differently this month. I'll be rating these movies based on originality, gross factor, scares, and then I'll give you my overall score. And if not, I'll give you the one that I think matches the average score to the movie. So if you are looking forward to Body Horror Week, give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed learning a little bit more about body horror, also give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our upgrade review. Sayonara, Spooky fam.